Hi everybody, it's Joni Young here. Welcome back for another tutorial. Today I'm going to be showing you the simplest way to seal and varnish your paintings. I've got a stack of paintings here and I've got tutorials for all of them, so you can check them all out if you're interested in learning how to paint them here on my channel, and some of them are on Patreon. Now I've got a few different varnishes or sealers. I like to use both of these. We've got Amsterdam acrylic medium, and this is a gloss. And then I've also got Liquitex professional acrylic medium satin varnish. These are the two that I like to use for my paintings. If I'm working with glossy paint or I want something to look really shiny, then I go for this. But most of the time I'm using a satin varnish, and the paintings that are available on my website, my original paintings, have this finish on them. So I'm going to show you step by step, walk you guys through this, how to seal or varnish your paintings. So you want to try to avoid getting it on anything. You could use some paper underneath your painting, plastic. I've got a whiteboard. This is like a white marker washboard. I really like using these for a lot of different craft projects. They're easy to clean up. And I also have a brush that I use specifically for sealing. I prefer to use a brush rather than a sponge. The sponge holds and soaks up the product, so I tend to recommend a brush, but it's personal preference. It's whatever you like, but sponges do that. That's what they do. They sponge up and soak up spills, so that's what they're made for. So I think you waste a lot of product personally if you use a sponge. This painting in particular was painted for one of my Patreon members. I've got an exciting thing going on right now for Patreon members. All members can send me a photo that they've taken, and if I choose to paint yours, I'll make a tutorial. I'll make a tutorial out of it, and I'll also send you the original painting. So I'm going to go ahead and start with this one first. So I'm just going to give it a gentle shake. You don't want to make any air bubbles in it. You don't want to shake it vigorously, otherwise there'll be too many bubbles in it and then you'll get a really uneven finish on your painting. So just gentle, kind of rocking the bottle back and forth like this. And then you want to apply it in, I like to apply it in sections so I can control and know what is covered one bit at a time. So I'll start with the top portion, and I'm just going to gently squeeze a little bit over, and then take my brush and, without pushing too hard, you don't want to go over too much in the same spot. So you just want to apply it nice and evenly, and then move on and add the next little bit and continue. You can just see the vibrancy come right back to the painting, like when you were painting it and the paint was wet and it looked so bright and fresh. That's what this does. So it brings that luminous, beautiful vibrancy back to your paintings, and it will hold it and protect it for years and years. A few things to note is not placing a painting ever, any kind of painting, in direct sunlight all the time, because that's not good for anything really. That's the quickest way to age something, is keeping it in direct sunlight. A couple other things, this one's done, I'm going to set it aside, but a couple other things you should know about taking care of artwork and paintings is keeping them out of high humidity, keeping them out of extreme high heat. Anything extreme you want to keep them out of. That, I mean, that pretty much goes for, I just see a couple little air bubbles here. That goes for a lot of things, right? Now there are other sealers and mediums out there that you can use. This is just what I use, and I wanted to demonstrate that. So I can see a little bit right here that I'm gonna add a little bit more to. Now the thing about this, about sealing, is that it can already start to be drying and setting into the painting in a matter of minutes. So it may look like you haven't applied any yet. It might look like you missed a spot, but chances are you didn't, and it's just starting to look like it's dry, like in this area here. I know I went over that. So kind of just check and see, and then leave it for 24 hours, come back and apply a second coat if you need to. So have it under a really good light and move it around, because that's where you're going to pick up any of those dry spots that don't look, you'll be able to see the difference. But I'm going to set this one aside now, and we're going to move on to the next one. And again, I do have a full tutorial of this available, so you can check that out on Patreon or my YouTube channel. Okay, so here's the next one, and this one I'm really excited about because it's kind of dark, and I know there's a lot of gorgeous color in here. Just making sure I line this up in the camera so you guys can see it all clearly. I think there we go. This one has a lot of richness to it and different layers of colors, so I'm excited to see this come back to life. And I'm going to just apply the same process, the same steps, going over a little bit more. So just look at those colors, the brilliant reds. This was a really fun one to paint. I have an enjoyable time with most of my paintings. I'd say like probably 95% of my paintings, and I paint a lot. I enjoy the process, and the most enjoyable times I have painting are when I don't know what I'm going to be painting, and I have kind of just leftover paint, and it's kind of like when you were in school and you were a kid and they let you use what you had left to do a free project or free time after you did the project that they assigned. That's what it's like for me when I do these intuitive pieces. I never know what I'm going to get, and I have free reign of it. So because there's a glare on it, I'm just kind of moving it around so you guys can see all the different light pastel colors in there. There's a lot of glazing. In this tutorial, I'll be teaching you how to build up a painting in layers to make it look really moody, dramatic, like you spent days and days and days on it. And you're going to learn how to paint this within 30 minutes, and it's real time. The video tutorial is in real time for all levels. You're going to learn so much in this video, so I hope you guys are excited about this one. I don't have a title for it yet, and I haven't even, depending on when you're watching this video, I haven't, as of today, it's October 4th or 5th today. I haven't released this one yet, but it will be released next week, so stay tuned for that. So I'm going to set this one aside, and we're going to move on to the next one. Okay, here's one that I just released today, Little River Boat. Now what's interesting about this one is not only how this boat ended up being in this painting, because it wasn't originally, this kind of came out of thin air and a little bit of a happy accident, we like to call those, good old Bob Ross, right? But there's something else in this painting I wonder if you guys can see. I don't want to say what it is. I want to see if you guys notice it. A couple other of my subscribers noticed it and commented, because I thought it was just me at first, but let me know if you guys see anything that stands out that looks like something and you're not sure if it is or if it was meant to be. Whatever you might see was definitely, if it's the same thing that I'm thinking of and that I see, it was purely, what's the word? Unintentional. It just happens sometimes when we're creating things. We end up on some subconscious level making something appear that we didn't plan on, or it just ends up looking like something else. And I think the more that we paint and the more that we look at things in nature and in general, we start to see more things. Like when you look at clouds, right? You're like, oh, that kind of looks like a bear, or that kind of looks like a house. Or, you know, I used to play that game with my kids when they were little. We'd lay on the grass and look up at the sky and kind of play I Spy with the clouds. It was fun. So it's kind of like an I Spy game with some of my paintings, and let me know if you guys can see what I'm talking about in this painting. Leave it in the comments below. It's really interesting and almost a little eerie, but it is that month. It is October, right? It wasn't meant to be, it just kind of happened, but this is Little River Boat. Full tutorial is available on my YouTube channel now, so check that out. Moving on to the next painting. So like I said, this is the first coat. I may not need to apply another coat, but this is Forest Dreams. A full tutorial is available of this as well on my channel. And if you have any trouble finding my videos, just go to the top of my channel and click on videos and recent, and then you can just scroll down depending on what device you're on. Well, usually any device, it's going to be on the left hand side, the left column. There's categories at the top of my channel. I've got a store, I've got the community, and there's some shorts, and there's videos, and then the first column will show you just a few of my recent videos, and then it'll show you the most popular ones over the last six years, I think. But it's the one videos column that you want to click, where you'll be able to just scroll down and see all the videos you might have been missing. And there's some really good ones in there. I hope you guys get a chance to watch, because I love teaching and I love showing you guys shortcuts, exciting new techniques that you may not have seen before. I'm a self-taught artist over the past 25 years. Yeah, maybe even more than that. So I've got some unique ways and unique approaches that you might find work for you. So I'm gonna just start at the top again. And I've got my shiny paint skin one coming up soon right after this, so I'll be showing you how to use and apply the gloss and what that looks like. It's the same, really the same technique. With the gloss, you need to be a little bit more diligent, because it will really show up if you miss any spots, because it's so shiny compared to the matte surface that you're applying it to, unless you're using really shiny paints. Okay, so this one is done. Again, don't go over too many times in one spot. Kind of pick it up under a good light, move it around. It looks like this spot here, it looks like I missed that, but I'm not sure. Like I said, the product can play tricks on you as it starts to settle in and do its thing on the canvas, but always best to check back 24 hours later and look under a light again to see if you missed any spots, and then apply another coat. So again, this is Forest Dreams, and it is a full-length tutorial here on my channel. Actually, because I'm going to be switching brushes, when I switch from, I'm going to be showing you guys, let me just adjust my camera a little bit here. There, hope you guys can, hope my camera's focusing in on this painting. This is the last one I'm going to apply my satin varnish with, because I'm going to switch brushes. I'm not going to use the same brush for a different product. Okay, so you don't want to use the same brush, because this has this product in it, and together those products might make a disaster. So make sure you switch brushes and use a different brush for different product. So I loved painting this one. This one hasn't been released yet, but it will be shortly. I loved painting this one. This was one I kind of mashed together. I did my own background and foreground, and then I found some pictures of bridges. I don't know where this bridge is from. I just was kind of Googling and checking out bridges, and I knew I wanted to do a bridge. Whoops, I just bumped the camera, I think. There, I knew I wanted to paint a bridge, but I wanted it to be in silhouette. So I put this together. Let me know what you guys think. I love how colorful it is against the, like the contrast, you know, with the bridge in silhouette, the pretty lights, and of course the northern lights, the lights on the bridge, and then the grass and the weeds here in the foreground. It's one of my personal favorites. You guys ask me all the time what my favorite paintings are, and this is actually one of them right now. I think I had this up on my website. It's available to purchase, and there's going to be a full tutorial very soon uploaded to my channel or Patreon. Actually, I haven't decided yet if I'm going to put it on Patreon or my channel. So we'll move this around, see if I have everything. This looks a little dry right there. And now I'm going to switch brushes and we're going to move on to the high gloss. So you guys may remember this one. There, now I can move my camera back down. You may remember the paint skin that I did, and then I created this landscape painting out of that paint skin. I'm going to use a different brush, another clean and dry brush I have for sealing, and this is for my gloss. So I've got just enough left in here, but you can see where my paint skins are when I move this around. Anything that's shiny is the paint skin. So if you guys don't know what a paint skin is, I didn't know myself up until probably like the last year. I mean, I knew once I watched it, I'm like, oh yeah, I get that all the time. I love doing stuff with those, but I didn't know there was a proper like term or name for it. And there's a lot of really cool things you can do with your old dried leftover paint. And this is just one of them, what I like to do, but there's so many things out there. And so this is shiny, and the paint that I used for the rest of the painting is matte. So I mean, it kind of looks neat like this, but I want to apply the gloss. So I thought this would be a good example on adding gloss. Okay, and then I'm going to take my clean brush here, brush this around. So I'm just going to move the canvas around a little bit here to make sure I got everything. Got all those little areas. And I might apply another coat, but it tends to dry glossier than when you first put it on. So it will look shinier as it dries. But I think this was just one of those paintings that needed the gloss. Like I said, it's something I don't use a lot of unless I'm applying a varnish or sealer to painted items other than canvas, or if it's a specific request from a customer. But other than that, I like to stick to the satin varnish, but this one really needed the gloss because of the shiny paint skin that I used when creating it. So there's a full tutorial on this as well here on my channel. And I hope you guys enjoyed this video and found it informative. Again, these are the two that I use. This one's pretty much all empty now. I mean, I can get a few more drops out of it if I need to, but this is Amsterdam and acrylic medium, gloss, and it's got all the instructions and everything about it on the bottle. And then this one here, Liquitex Professional Acrylic Medium Satin Varnish. Non-removable archival satin for acrylics, permanent. Okay, so there you go. So I hope this video helped you guys learn how to seal and varnish your own paintings. Let me know if you have any questions below this video, and I'll see you guys soon in another video. Take care. Bye.